Okay, we are at the Village of Mineral Park Council meeting November 9th, 2023. It is 7:01 p.m. and we will start with roll call. Councilperson Cameron.
Present.
Councilperson Wolf is excused. Council President Kruger.
Here.
Councilperson Martin.
Here.
Councilperson Cost. Present. Councilperson McNamara.
Present.
All right. Next we have Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right. Meeting minutes. We have October 26th council meeting minutes. Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next, we have November 2nd,
Move to approve.
work session minutes, sorry.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, we will move then to the village official reports. Let's start with Police Chief Matt Bell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have anything to add to the report. If you have any questions about the report, I'll leave about that.
Anybody have any questions? All right, next we have our fiscal officer, Jeffrey Milchak.
This afternoon I sent out the financial report for October. The one highlight I'd like to point out in it, our income tax collections for this year have exceeded the estimate of 1.8 million by 140,000, and we still have a month to go. So we're looking really good as far as income tax goes. The 2024 budget is still in the works. We may attempt a finance committee meeting for November 30th. We'll see if we can get that arranged. Okay? There are certain pieces of legislation involving finance tonight. I can provide comment when the meetings come around and help out with the understanding. Okay? That's the end of my report.
Anybody have any questions? All right, next we will move to the engineer Mike Flickinger's report. I don't think I actually did get that today, but the Jordan Road project is still moving forward. I have a meeting on the 20th for pre-construction on that. They've already started tearing down trees and all that good stuff, so we are moving right along with that project. He has quite a bit of things going on, so we will try to get the report and get that uploaded to the website and see if we can throw that in the agenda. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to email myself and I will reach out to Mike and get some answers for you. We will then move to our legal counsel, Jesse Sheep.
Thank you, Mayor. Only relevant one now to let you know is that after a few marathon work sessions on the zoning code, we have it, I would say, on the goal line. We have it with Mike Flickinger for just very, frankly, to you all, probably inconsequential terminology. Just trying to square it up with the industry standard engineering terms. He will get that to us, presumably, by early next week. We sort of told him that because we have some deadlines coming up. And so I want to go over this. Eric and I got the calendar together, sort of looked at it, maybe what works best to get this across the finish line here is to have a first reading for that November 16th, which is next meeting. We'll then either convert the work session in December to a full public meeting or partial to do a second reading on the 7th. And then at the December 14th meeting, that will be the third reading and public hearing. The revised code requires us to have as close to as possible in finished form zoning amendments available 30 days prior to the public hearing. So that gives us until next Tuesday or Wednesday. We'll have that done. I would, frankly, even if Mike doesn't get back to us, I would say that it's close to finished enough to have on file. Semi-related to that, you have before you tonight Ordinance 2523. And what that does is it extends the 60-day moratorium put in place in September. I think our schedule and that was kind of a little optimistic to get everyone together and get through the readings. So what it does, as it's written before you today, it extends it to 60 days. That is my fault. I wasn't matching up the calendar appropriately. I would request tonight when that comes up for a reading that it be amended to 65 days. What that does is, presuming the zoning code is passed and adopted on December 14th, it 65 days from today is January 13th, and so there would not be some awkward overlap with an old code with a new code. So that's a lot of dates for now. If you have any questions, let me know. But I think that matches up nicely. It makes the code effective January 13th. Again, presuming it's adopted December 14th, and there's no gap on moratorium. And that would eliminate any need for, obviously, any future moratoriums on it based on the code. So that would be the end of it. Any questions? That's it.
All right, does anybody have any questions for Jesse? Okay, let's move to village planner, Mr. Eric Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Everything that was said by Jesse, because we've been working on primarily over the last several weeks, as is. Nothing else to report at this time, unless there are any outstanding questions. That's all I have.
Does anybody have any questions?
Do we have it looks like there might be at least one project with this building that's not complete. Do we have a list of, I don't see a generator.
Correct.
So, I know it is that.
Everything, and thank you for the question, everything with the building, there's still, we obviously have a decent warranty period with the building, which is roughly a year. And so anything happens with the building, we talk to our contractors, because we obviously pay a good amount of money. So they come in, we had the HVAC increase today, taking care of various things. The generator is not installed yet because it's not arrived yet. And we thought we would get lucky to get it before the building construction. We thought we had good news. Originally, if you recall, they told us it would be next year. And so we pre-planned this already. The generator would be installed sometime in 2024. We expect it in January, March right now.
But everything else with this building we're good.
Everything
signed off and
correct. Everything else is complete. There's always going to be some minor things that pop up in the warranty period, which we'll address as they come up.
When did they put that big changing station in?
The AV station will, I think, in Marion, did we get something on order, or did we decide on that? I wasn't
No
clear.
big changing station.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I didn't know there wasn't any, I have not heard anything about it.
Okay.
The signs is what you pointed out, and
the baby
charging
station.
that is
Well-
something that Alex has, the two signs.
Right, so you have those, I know there's been some discussion in emails, and then we'll add the AV changing station discussion. I don't know, I thought something was spec'd out, but maybe we'll get one installed one or the other.
Probably two.
Two, right, I think it's called.
Good catch. I don't have a baby anymore. And then
I
there's,
mean,
And they're way big enough to have one in there.
oh, absolutely.
correct, those are good sized restrooms.
Yeah.
Good choice.
And I don't know that Taylor and, I don't know that they don't have this information, so
Right, I'll double
they
check.
very well may. So, good question. Anything else with the building, or anything else for Eric? Okay, if you guys think of anything, just email. Zoning officer John Canty, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to him or myself. Planning and zoning, do you want to, I know we have a
We're
meeting
not
next week.
meeting this last time, we will have a meeting next week and just continue some discussionary items as we head into 2024. I don't think we're planning to have a meeting in December, so that will likely be our last meeting next week.
I will take a moment to point out that that meeting is currently not on the calendar on the website. That wasn't for you, that was for her.
We will get that posted, and, there is currently one open seat on planning and zoning. I have had several people, I'm just telling you guys this, I've had several people, apply for that position. Now there may be even more changes coming, with the shift in council and seats and things like that. So, I don't know if there's gonna be one seat or two seats once we get to that point, so we will, I will have you do a little discussion with planning and zoning, what we're gonna do, or we may just keep that seat until January, just as an FYI. It is a non-voting seat, so at this point in time, we just aren't filling it yet because I don't know exactly what we need. So, we have some good applicants and we will get that filled as soon as possible. Next, let's move to NPCA and let's look to Councilperson Cameron.
Okay, so NPCA had their meeting last night. There was 3 main topics. Newsletter, so there's a big conversation about the newsletter. Do they add more pages to it? What do they do about the waiting list for sponsors? even the look of it. Carrie has reached out to some of us here at the village, as well as her group of people to arrange a meeting to discuss what that might look like. So more to come there. They're in the process of putting together a America Park recipe book that they will sell. I'm not sure what price point they're going to be at, but they're collecting recipes. So you can reach out to Carrie if you'd like to submit a recipe for that book. And then they had a brief conversation around budget and events for 2024. Most of that stuff has been planned out already. They're just trying to tweak some of those items. I always ask NPCA if there's anything they'd like me to bring to council. There were 4 things that they asked me to mention. First is there's a concern around the traffic at the Minerva France Elementary School at let out in the afternoon. So they have asked about maybe only having cars going in one direction or kind of rerouting them like they've done at some other schools. Perfect. There you go. So that was one thing. Trash on the basketball court was another one. Several of them have said that they go out there and clean the trash up quite a bit. So, third was they are asking if they can, in our new rental policy on the building, if they can have right of first refusal for their reoccurring events. Basically saying, any event that they do each year, because their schedule stays pretty much the same, if we can kind of reserve that space for them before we renew it. So that's an ask for them. And then finally, this is more informational. I'm going to do 2 more things. They've reminded me to ask about, they are interested in adding on to any maintenance building that we might do, and they have a budget for that. And also, they're in the process of renewing their insurance, and they're going to add the village as a piece to it. Like, they already have Westfield Schools on it for when they have events there. They have to have it in the rider, so they're going to add us in there as well. And that's all I have for them.
That's an easy list.
Yeah, they don't normally give me a list, so.
And if you guys didn't hear that, Eric and I met with Westerville City, or not Westerville City Schools, but we actually met with the principal at Minerva France, and he had asked us for signs as well. I've already reached out to Paul Peterson to get the school painted on the street right there, so I'm waiting for the price for that. But I think what we were planning is the left turn only. I think the final answer was if we're going to put exactly like hours, they have early release, they have this, they have that. So, they have evening events. Do we just worry about it during drop off and pickup, which is probably what we'll do. So we were just deciding, we were still trying to figure that out. So the sign has not been ordered yet, but we actually talked about it today.
Perfect.
And I will say with an elementary, other than people using it, we do not have much after hours.
Okay.
Early release and stuff is no longer
They're not
part.
done.
They finally got rid of that.
Good.
The only other thing I have is if we're going to order those signs, can we throw in a couple of children playing signs too that we talked about earlier? That was one of the as well. Might as well just put it in the order.
Whatever about the parks and stuff. Oh wait, the guys are a couple of weeks ago. Okay.
Where we tell us that Brian's not here.
All right, so let's move on. We are going to go to the village committee reports, and finance, you guys already heard from Jeff Wilczek, so Brian is not here, so we will move to streets and Councilperson Voss.
So we just had a recent report of concerns of streets taking over on Green Line, I believe. So we're going to try and set up a meeting soon to talk about that. Black Sycamore, sorry. And then we are going to talk about the Philly Road project, which is underway. I'm hoping, or we just found it somewhere in between there. So we'll get that to after the meeting.
He's available first.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that's
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, he's
We will, as soon as we have a date and time set, we'll send it out. We'll make sure everybody's okay with that on the committee. Next, let's move to Councilperson Martin for services.
I have nothing to report.
I have something to report.
Okay.
I've had lots of compliments on our leaf pickup this year, so I'm super excited about that. And that's all I have to say. So thank you.
Yeah,
Good job.
Good job.
All right, let's move to Recreation and Parks, Councilperson Cameron.
Yeah. I did have a meeting recently. We reviewed some of the pricing that we have in legislation tonight and have tweaked a few things that we wanted to talk further about. So that was, we've already read that had a second reading on those changes. Tonight will be our third reading. I will say that last night I mentioned it to the MPCA group that was here about spreading out payments next year for families on pool memberships, and several people were really excited about it. They said, hey, we've never gotten a membership because we just can't flip that bill all at one time. So that was something that came up last night. We're trying to come up with a set of rules with the pool for when we close the pool, so that it's not just John and his team or John calling down to the office and saying, hey, I'm thinking about closing the pool today. We want to kind of come up with some guidelines like some of the other pools in the neighborhood or in the area have that say, if the temperature is this all day, we'll close the pool. If it's room for this long, we'll close the pool. And that way John's not deciding this on his own. We kind of have a set of guidelines. We have, the mayor and I met with Four Seasons, our landscaping company. We're waiting for some bids back from them to see if we can tweak that and what we're doing there. And we had a meeting with Minerva Florida as well, and then talked to Lisa about their involvement and what they're going to do going forward. Was there one more thing? Yeah, definitely. Maybe that's it. Okay. I think that was it. Yeah. Any questions?
Any questions? All right, let's move to Councilperson McNamara for safety.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council community. Going through the chief's report, everything is looking good. We have a decrease in calls for service, so hopefully the busy and hectic summer is behind us, and knock on wood, things will be nice and smooth this fall and winter. I would like to schedule a safety meeting to discuss some of the current topics of the village. I'm thinking Monday, December 4th. Would that be an appropriate time for everyone?
What time?
I would imagine afternoon. Maybe 2, 3, that'd be appropriate for you?
What was the date?
Monday, December 4th.
Who's on there?
Myself,
Did you say 2 or 3?
It's Brian and Jamie.
yeah, Jason, JP and Ryan. You can make it?
If it's a Monday, I don't want to speak for him, you can send out an email, but before 4, it's still going to be on the clock.
Okay. So maybe Monday, 4 to 5, 4:30, 5:30 kind of thing?
Something like that.
All right.
Usually maybe we do that with finance, but I know he's he works from home, but he's trying to do his desk till about 4-ish or so.
Sounds good. So we can go ahead and target for Monday, December 4th, 4:30, 5:30, if possible. Lost my train of thought there. All right.
Perfect. Are you going to send out an email to all of them and just
I will.
you can confirm it, and then we'll get it tomorrow?
Will do.
All right. Anybody have any questions for Councilperson McNamara? I did reach out to them about your sign that we ordered, and it is still not in. Just an FYI. All right. Councilperson Berger, Council President Berger, legislation.
Okay, well, the last legislative meeting was actually canceled, as it was scheduled to be the same night as the dedication of this building. I think we didn't necessarily want to shoo people out of here who were looking around. Our next meeting is next Thursday, the 16th at 6:30 before council. Tell you what, if we have any extra minutes, we might be talking about the code, because that's all we've been talking about, trying to get that finished. And that is all my report.
Perfect. All right, mayor's report. I just want to tell everybody thank you for the support. I'm looking forward to the next 4 years. I know Brian's not here, so I'll do this again before the end of the year. So I just want to thank Brian and Mark for everything that they've done. They still have a couple months, so they still have plenty of time to do lots of fun things. And then congrats, obviously, to Tommy and Kathy moving forward. So that's the only thing I have. And then we will go to citizen comments. Do we have anybody that would like to say anything?
Real quick. It's just something I thought of when you were, sorry, Tommy Grant, RV driver.
Who are you?
You guys have mentioned signs, and I'm not gonna.
I have to do it for everyone, or it's meaningless when I do it for anyone.
No parking on one side of the street, Farview. I think there's a vendor on Farview, and sometimes I think that people may not see that there's no parking. I think there's kind of a blind area at part of the curb. So it's just a small sign. I thought maybe we could put up another one.
What side of the street?
No parking on the side of the street.
On this part side, they're not supposed to park on already?
Correct.
Okay. And
Maybe
if
the sign
people
is too
park
far.
in there?
Yeah, they do on occasion, but I sometimes I wonder, is it a visibility problem? Because there's a lot of space between signs and it goes around the curve.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe they just don't know. And that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, that was mayor's report and citizen comment. All right,
Anything
well,
else?
anyone else for citizens comments? I got 4 or 5 citizens out there. All right, well, Mayor Hughes, thank you for thanking me for my service, and since I've been thanked, I think I'll just go home. Job's done.
I said you're not done yet.
You did qualify with that, so.
I did, you're not done.
You were thinking ahead. All right. I don't know why I'm joking when we have like 14 pieces of legislation to read here. Let's get home before it gets dark. All right, ordinance 21, 2023.
It's dark.
I think that was a joke.
Ordinance 2021-23. An ordinance to make appropriations for the current expenses of the village of Minerva Park for the year 2024. This is just a first reading. Just go ahead. If you want to give you 30 seconds or so.
There is an attachment that will be with that ordinance on the next reading, but I also would like to point out that there is no need to declare an emergency. Appropriations are effective upon passage.
Yes.
It'll get its 3 readings between now and December.
Yep.
Okay, so that needs to be.
Well, that on the actual printed legislation, it does not say emergency.
Okay.
So that is fine. Thank you. All right. Ordinance 22, 2023, an ordinance establishing health care benefits for employees and the mayor and authorizing the purchase of health insurance and declaring an emergency. This is just the first reading. We do plan to have this read throughout. Are these numbers in red then final?
No.
Nope. Okay, so I won't talk about any numbers. Yeah, Jeff, if you want to talk about it real quick.
I need to address something with the ordinance 22. That was to have been deleted from the agenda. It is a duplicate of 26.
All right.
Okay, so scratch my reading of that. We will get it again in 26. Moving on, ordinance 23, 2023. An ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for the current expenses of the village of Minerva Park for the year 2023 with a request to waive. For the year 2023, I'm reading it there. If there's a typo, that needs to be changed.
Is it 24, 23?
This is for 23.
Yeah, this is for 23.
23, I think you have the old packet, perhaps pulled up. Yes. We are looking for an extra $10,900 for the police department, I'm pretty sure I remember what this is, but Jeffrey, do you want to chime in?
There are two things that make up that dollar amount. We received an invoice from Motorola going back a couple of years. Not sure exactly what happened, if it has not been paid, it is a legitimate invoice. So we need to get that one paid. There was actually a purchase order, but that typical type of purchase order expired back in '21, so we have nothing to pay against. So that's the purpose of the 5,400 request there. The second item is payment of the ARPA grant retention for police officers. I need an additional appropriation to cover the pension contributions that are required to go with that, and that is the 5,500 side of it.
Awesome. For those who are not aware, not in a public pension system, you contribute generally quite a bit out of your check. I know for educators it's 14%, and then your employer matches. It's just like 504K matching in private sector where your company matches what you put in. That's what that appropriation for. And we have that money and need to get that into their account, so I am going to motion that we waive readings number 2 and 3. Moved and seconded. Any debate? Ready for a vote?
Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Council President Ruger.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost. Aye. Councilperson Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
All right, having waived the second and third readings, I'm going to move passage on this. We do not, of course, have to pass it as an emergency because it is an appropriation and goes into effect immediately. I move passage.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Debate? I think we're ready.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost. Aye. Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Council President Ruger.
Aye. All right, pass. Okay, ordinance 24, 2023. Excuse me. An ordinance updating the wage and salary ranges, the number of employees and positions for the village of Minerva Park, and declaring an emergency. This is a first reading of this. Madam Mayor, do you want to tell us what our changes are there on that?
I think almost everything. This is to go along with the budget.
Okay.
If we want, we can switch it over to him, but basically, we have patrol officers, the office staff, we have the lifeguards, pretty much all of the salary and pay ranges are being adjusted to match with the budget.
Awesome. And today that is just a first reading, so we will move on unless anyone on council has any questions. All right. Ordinance number 25, 2023. This is what Justin was talking about earlier. That is an long one. An ordinance extending the 60-day moratorium on the acceptance of all applications and issuances of any permits for any type of zoning within the village for an additional 60 days to allow for a vote and implementation of the amended zoning code and declaring an emergency. The first thing I'm going to do is make a motion to amend this from 60 to 65 days. I think Jesse did a great job explaining why. I will make that motion.
Second.
Motion has been made. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Okay, having said all of that, I am going to motion that we waive the second and third readings of this ordinance as it has been amended.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any debate? Go ahead.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Council President Ruger.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost. Aye.
All right, having waived the second and third readings, I move passage of this ordinance as an emergency. Moved and seconded. Anyone want to? When you're ready.
Councilperson Cost. Aye. Council President Ruger.
Aye.
Councilperson Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
All right, moved and passed. Ordinance 26, 2023, an ordinance establishing health care benefits for employees and the mayor and declaring an emergency. Currently, there is a lot of red X's on this. We are still trying to get the best deal we can for health care. That search continues, and once we get hard numbers, they'll be put in there. That is just a first reading. So anyone out there, yes, we do plan to still offer health care to our employees. We just don't know what it will cost yet. Moving on, ordinance 27, 2023, an ordinance authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into a contract for major medical insurance for village employees and declaring an emergency. This is the first reading of that. Once we have the numbers for that, then we'll read that. You guys are seeing what's happening. All right, moving on to ordinance 28, 2023. In order to amend section 5.11 holidays of the employee handbook related to holiday pay and declaring an emergency. Oh, I only have the partial thing up here. Mayor, you want to tell us real quick what the change is, because I don't have the.
We currently have not to exceed 4 hours for our part-time employees for holiday pay. We have we do have an employee, and in the future we could have more employees that actually do work 6 hours every single day. So we just do not want to shortchange that person. We want to make sure that we are paying our employees for the hours, their holiday pay, that they work.
But it's simply, some of our part-time employees work 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. If they get a holiday day, they should probably get paid for 6 hours. As everyone knows, we have the holiday season rapidly upon us, which is why I will move to waive the second and third reading of this legislation.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any debate?
All right. Council President Berger.
Aye.
Councilperson Cameron.
Aye.
Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost. Aye. Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
All right, having waived the second and third readings, I move passage of ordinance 28, 2023 as an emergency. Moved and seconded. Debate?
Councilperson McNamara.
Aye.
Councilperson Cost. Aye. Councilperson Martin.
Aye.
Council President Berger.
Aye.
Councilperson Cameron.
Aye.
All right, pass. Moving on, ordinance 29, 2023. An ordinance to make supplemental appropriations for the current expenses of the village of Minerva Park for the year 2023. This was actually the $15,000 that was talked about earlier on 2023, I believe. But this is that money for the police department, the $15,000. This is a different one, yeah, I just got that. This is the different one. This was the police appropriations, not the insurance. This is still just a first reading.
There is a desire to have this one passed. It is to allow for the payment of our workers' compensation policy. What has happened in the past is workers' comp has underestimated the payroll for the village by the amount of about $400,000. So the true-up keeps biting into the appropriations for the new year to pay our premiums when they come due. And I am short about $15,000 to pay the premium when it's due next month.
Okay, so you need this next month. It is an appropriation.
Yes.
I will be happy to entertain someone making a motion to waive readings. I don't know. We're doing a lot of that tonight. I think maybe we could just wait the third reading next week and still get it done in time. Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
Do we have enough people present at next week's meeting before we do that?
We know we're already one out.
Then that gives me a reason. Thank you. That's all I needed. I just needed a reason.
For safety's sake.
Yeah, to make sure it gets done, I will move that we waive, the second and third readings of this one as well.
All right, any discussion?
We have not been seconded. Now we have been seconded.
Did you second it?
I just seconded it, yes.
I'm waiting.
And I think we just already had our discussion.
Anybody else?
Go ahead.
Councilperson Martin?
Aye.
Council President Krueger?
Aye.
Councilperson Foss? Aye. Councilperson McNamara? Aye. Councilperson Cameron?
Aye.
All right, having removed the second and third reading, or waived them, I guess as the case is, I move passage of ordinance 29, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilperson Cameron?
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara?
Aye.
Councilperson Foss? Aye. Council President Krueger?
Aye.
Councilperson Martin?
Aye.
All right, moved and passed. On to resolution 2023-34, a resolution establishing fees for the membership for the Myrna River Park Pool for the 2024 summer season. This is our third reading, so I'll be looking to pass as an emergency. Not as an emergency, I'm sorry, looking to pass tonight. Everything else got passed as an emergency. It got stuck in my head. Before I do that, I will say, ask a question real quick of Councilperson Camera. I know that we did not get flex payment options into this beforehand. Could we still just add that later and just decide that's a payment thing, it didn't need to be in here?
I don't, does that need to come before council?
Yeah, I mean, that's all we got a lawyer and a fiscal officer here. And the rest of them are listening to us.
If we allow people to make payments, does that need to go through council or?
No,
just
no,
administrative?
as long as the dollar amount doesn't change, I think it's administrative.
So that can still be on the table even though it's not in here. If anyone sees that knows it's not in there. That doesn't mean it's not on the table. In that case, I'll move passage.
Second.
Any discussion?
All right, Councilperson Martin? Councilperson Martin?
He said aye. Well, he said it.
Councilperson McNamara?
Aye.
I know I'm putting comment here. Councilperson Foss? Aye. Councilperson Cameron?
Aye.
And Council President Krueger?
Aye.
All right.
Okay, next. All right, the most boring legislation of the night. Resolution 2023-35, a resolution authorizing the mayor and fiscal officer to enter into various recurring contracts necessary for the continuous operation of the village. Pardon me, friends. This is stuff like our public defender who comes in, the magistrate who runs the mayor's court, KGT, which does our tech, Paycor that does our payroll, mosquito spray, bunch of stuff that needs to get renewed all the time that we don't need to bring before council. That is a second reading, and as I said, that's why it's the most boring one of the night. We're just moving on.
Is it second?
It says, or did I just say this is the third?
No, passing.
Yep, sounds tonight. Nope, they're not going to get any reprieve. Okay, this is the third reading, and having read it 3 times, and I'm not the one who has to keep track of all the votes, so it's actually the mayor who's not getting any reprieves tonight. I move passage. Moved and seconded. Any debate?
Councilperson Foss? Aye. Councilperson Martin?
Aye.
Councilperson Cameron?
Aye.
Council President Krueger?
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara?
Aye.
Okay. Yeah. Resolution 2023-36. A resolution affirming the appointment of Sean Corley as a full-time school resource officer for the Village of Minerva Park, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. This is a second reading. I do have one quick question for the chief.
Yes.
Will he spend all of his clock hours at the Western Hill buildings, or will we have duties sometimes inside the village? Like, I don't want to say regular duties, and that's the only word I can think of for it.
So on the days when there's no school, he can patrol, or he can opt to take those days as vacation day, personal day, whatever, if he has that time available. Through the summertime, when there's no school, other than the state mandated SRO classes that he had to go to, he'll probably spend his majority of his time patrolling the village.
Awesome. All right. I was just honestly just curious
But other than
how the hours sharing
other
work.
than that, he's inside that building.
Thank you very much. All right, moving on. Resolution 2023-37, a resolution adopting the rules of council for the council of the Village of Minerva Park for 2024. This is a first reading. And there we go. Oh.
We're talking about rules of council?
Yes.
Yes.
So I would like to ask that we table this until the new council. Because I know we did that when we
Yes.
came on to council. I would just like to get their input on the rules of council, so.
I'll second that.
I think that we should do something.
That's fair.
All right, with 2 new members of council coming on, we will table this until they are on and can make their own rules. Thanks for my party gifts. All right. You guys are all gonna be wearing ties. Professional dress is gonna be required. See, I already have Stacy on my side. I could get this passed. All right, we are at the end, everybody.
Okay.
Down to resolution 2023-38, a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to pay Motorola Solutions for work completed and declaring an emergency. Here is that Motorola bill that we found behind a filing cabinet somewhere. That Jeffrey found hiding behind someone else lost. That Motorola found. There we go. We knew where it was all the time, we just hadn't paid it yet. It was Motorola has lost it. And we didn't want to tell them if they didn't know this.
I know, right?
Yes, they are. I'm sure they still make phones and radios and all kinds of stuff. All right, as this is a bill from, equipment installed in 2022, and it being almost 2024, I think we can waive the readings and get this passed tonight. I move to waive readings.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Go ahead.
Councilperson Voss?
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara?
Aye.
Councilperson Cameron?
Aye.
Councilperson Martin?
Aye.
Councilpresident Ruger?
Aye. All right, it seems like this is an appropriation, but it's not. It's a resolution authorizing the fiscal officer to do something. So I will move that we pass resolution 2023-38 as an emergency.
Second.
Moved and seconded by Councilperson McNamara. Discussion?
Councilperson Martin?
Aye.
Councilpresident Ruger?
Aye.
It's not written on here. Councilperson Cameron?
Aye.
Councilperson McNamara?
Aye.
Councilperson Cost?
Aye.
All right, that was the last of the legislation.
I'm gonna get my thoughts together. This was a lot.
New business, new or old business?
Okay, new business. Does anybody have anything for new business? Nope, sorry, old business. Old business is first.
So the Lakewood count is old business, yes?
Yep.
So I ran into one of our state reps at the opening ceremony for this building, and she and I are going to get together and see if there is any way we can scrounge together some potential funding for expanding our options for the lake restoration. I do not advise anyone hold their breath, and neither does she from the preliminary glance, but we're gonna page through some stuff and see what avenues we can explore, because I'm not giving up on these lakes quite yet. So I will bring the results to council once I have them.
On the topic of points, do we know when we'll be ready for another meeting? I thought we were told about 4 days, so.
Right, so, Jessica, myself, and Mike are going to have a conference call with him next Friday. There are some, new challenges
Yes.
that involve people in EPA.
Yep.
So we have to go through some shenanigans with them, I'm afraid. There's timing, and that affects the pond potentially. We have a lot of questions that we need to work through before we come back.
So I can bring it to my meeting?
Sure.
Thank you.
Right. Once we have some more info.
Thank you.
So to answer your question, no. Because we don't know what options we really have. So after next Friday, we'll so difficult to get around, and I know I just totally threw you, and that might be something I think
I
not
think
maybe we talk
the
about.
discussion, I think, was more around entrances to the courts, where widens out, it seems to be okay, but we've talked about this, that we could, about people parking on, there's no parking signs on any of the cul-de-sacs. So people park on both sides
Challenging to.
at the entrances,
Right.
and then all the way
And
in.
that's interesting.
Because it's all the same side of the street.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So we need to pick the side of the fire hydrant, stick the no parking sign on it.
Okay.
Because quite frankly, most of those cul-de-sacs are difficult to park in once you're beyond the neck point, right?
Right.
So yes, I see what you're saying. We need to sign that side of the street.
Yeah.
And because otherwise there's really nowhere to park in between driveways. Driveways are so close together. It's a lot. We'll talk about it in house and see what's best.
Can we find out how many you think we need? Because if we're gonna order all of these at the same time, it would be nice if we got the curve that he was asking about and the courts.
You're gonna do them there, do them on East Shore and all the others.
We'll figure out.
We'll talk about it.
See what the best standard is to sign.
Yeah. You want to?
I just, have input.
Yes.
Thanks. So, in my experience, this seems to be like a recent kind of issue. In the past, prior to this year, I don't recall ever having an issue with people parking on both sides of the entrance to the small courts. I recall one time on Berry Lane that there were vehicles on both sides because of a party, which we had to go and just ask them to move their cars. It wasn't a big issue at all. Berry Lane is kind of an interesting situation because of the length of that neck, because the roundabout court is all the way back around the corner. That one would have to be definitely kind of examined and looked at. Most of the residents in there do a pretty good job of policing themselves with parking. So we haven't had any real issues in there other than the aforementioned one I just said. But at the small courts like East Shore and Northway, there's definitely spotted some issues with vehicles parked right up almost to the stop sign. And that would be.
I think it's happening at Cotton Quail and to.
So there's some mitigation there. We could probably do like no parking at a corner, something of that nature, because that neck is shorter. But on the longer ones like Berry Lane, we may have to think of some other solutions or what do you. So there's I just wanted to put that out there that this isn't a huge problem. It seems to be contained just a couple of places.
Perfect. So, yeah, let's see if we can put together some ideas on that. Go for it.
So I think, I wish Mark was still on there because we talked about last night, but it's, my understanding is there's still some piece that we have not finalized on the rental of this space. And we talked about it last night, again, Barb knows exactly what I'm talking about, but, and I think part of it is, because it came up during that right of first refusal conversation that MBCA was asking about, if they could have that into this of some kind, so, we may have to wait till Barb comes back.
It's my understanding that we already have all of their dates for 2024 on the list.
Right.
And then, so yes, I mean, we already have them on there, so we would not rent around that. We talked about it earlier today, we have people that are trying to rent as early as this weekend, so I'm
We
not,
finished passing on that though, right?
yes, so I'm not aware that there's anything yet.
There was something last night, and Barb was like, we didn't actually finalize that piece, so I don't know what that is.
Okay, we'll see if we can find out, or either way we can ask. Do you know this?
I don't, but since we're talking about the rental of the building, are we going to limit the hours of the rental? I was looking at the rental agreement the other day, and if I wanted to rent the building at 3 a.m., could I rent the building at 3 a.m.?
So we had talked, Barb and I had talked about it, and that was one of the questions that I had asked if we allow them to mean, to me, I think it should be 8 AM to 10 PM, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Maybe 11 PM.
No fun costs.
No fun costs.
No, nothing.
Do you have a recommendation as to what time to start or end?
I don't know, I think that there's probably some breakfast, meetings that people may want to have in there or get early in to get decorations started or something. So, at 8 AM or similar type of, start time. And because of our noise ordinance, I think maybe 11 PM would be absolute, like, you gotta be out of the,
And that's all just done on the rental agreement, so we will finalize that, I'll finalize that with Barb. I have no problem doing 8 to 11, and then if they want to put it in writing or something for a reason that they want 7:30, because I think the pancake thing might have started a little bit earlier.
right, a breakfast, that's what I said, a breakfast thing. And I suppose that you can put a clause in there unless otherwise authorized by the mayor.
Right. Okay, does anybody have any old business or new business?
Stall as long as I could.
I know. It's okay, she knows. We'll, not put her completely on the spot, but I think we'll vote.
I guess I have something, I have a resident.
Hey Brian, you need to grab Barb.
She's coming, wait.
Phone is a little low, it's
I
hard.
I think I spoke to David about this, but I just wanted to mention it since we have a little bit of time. About concerns of parking on Farview. And even though there's a lot of our cars parked legally, I guess it seems to be a little bit of a blind spot there. Yeah, is that what you're saying, it's just the no parking on that part?
Yeah, that's what I, because, it's not just the plans, there's not enough signs to really, when I drive in, I can see, I see one, and then I'm like, there's none.
I guess, yeah, chief.
You two were talking about two separate things.
Yeah.
He's talking about parking on the, wrong side of the road where it's not allowed, and putting an additional sign there
Yeah.
to allow people to realize that they're not supposed to park there on that curb.
I'm talking
You're talking about a complaint that someone feels that because they're parking on the curb legally, vehicles traveling can't see around the vehicles and are coming head to head and almost dying at 25 miles an hour. So, I've gone through there, I've driven through there, it is, I haven't experienced that, such a drastic, like, near collisions, but I can see that in like the mornings, when the vehicles are coming out, but if we do the left turn only, it would solve that issue. In the evenings, when people are home, there are more cars parked on the street. I don't know if there's a way to reduce or eliminate that problem by saying you can't park on either side, because now you have residents who purchase homes with parking in front that are now, we can't park in front of my house. So, I think that, if people are courteous and they just, are patient, they can make it through without any issues.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay. You had something you want?
One last thing, I don't know if we mentioned this or not, but I'd like to take time to mention it. One of our officers, Cliff Bigler, was awarded the Coveted Star Officers Award this year for October. One of my favorite officers, so congratulations.
Okay, and then the only thing that I had is I just want to thank Barb for all of her hard work today, and actually this is the last 2 weeks, putting together the Vets Memorial Rededication Ceremony. So I really appreciate you doing that. I actually did not lift a finger on it, and I will completely admit that she did absolutely everything for it.
I was happy to do it.
So again, thank you. I know that there were some residents that really enjoyed it. So, and they're proud that this is in their village. So, again, thank you for all your hard work with that, and we got it done just in the nick of time. She got it done just in the nick of time. All right, that's it. That's all I have. Oh yeah, now you can start.
Last night we were talking about something that there was a
they asked if it was complete, and I said yes, but, and I know that there was some discussion. I remember particularly talking with Mark about it, trying to do something for small groups of village folk, with a sponsor coming in and using the building during the afternoon, that kind of thing. And not sure where that all stands, but it was brought up to me, so I brought it up to MPCA that might be an option that would be open to residents.
I don't think we've actually had any meeting that we could have talked about that yet as the council.
And is that something do we have to do that since it's gonna be a different price point?
Well, it's for a schedule price point, right?
It's gonna be on, it would be on.
Just administrative.
They set the rate for $150 to rent the building, and my concern with that is if we have a little knitting club that just wants to come in here and knit once a month, should it be the same?
I don't know why it would be the mayor's ability to.
Yeah, we already have 0 fees for community events.
Right.
We can just expand what a community organization is, and my idea was to say, if you want to have a knitting club, you need to have at least a pro forma, and this person's our president, and that's their name and number, and if our knitting club does something wrong, that's the person you go after for damages or whatnot, and then make it official. And then limit them for not Saturday at 8, where we could actually be making money off the
Yes,
place.
it needs to be more of an all right, so we'll talk about that and get that finalized as well. And Mark, the other thing we were talking about is the hours, and we'll get that on the rental agreement on Monday. That's all. Does anybody else have any old business or new business at this point?
Move to adjourn.
Second.